Tom here, in the office today with a nice selection of goodies in front of me, and as you can guess, it's another haul video. This time it's for March, or bits and bobs I've bought in March this year. So yeah, what I've got in front of me now is bits I picked up from the Preston Model Railway Show. Really good exhibition. I went there on the Saturday, and on the club stall there was a box of O-Gauge bits and pieces, so I couldn't resist. So yeah, let's dive in and take a look. So just put these other bits to one side. I will admit it is predominantly O-Gauge with this whole video. I suppose the last one didn't have any O-Gauge at all, really. But basically on the club stall, they had this building which caught my eye. So it's an O-Gauge station building. So it looks like someone scratch built it with plastic card and timber, plywood. So it needs a bit of repair work, but overall I quite liked it. I liked the weathered effect on it. Thought it had been done to a decent enough standard. And thought maybe we could drill a few holes in the bottom, add some lights to it possibly. But yeah, I thought I'll ask how much it is. And the bloke who was running the stall basically said, you know, what other bits and bobs, so I thought that might come in useful for something. I might have to try and take the backboard off and paint the background where the windows are. But again, I quite liked it, and thought that could come in useful for a future project. So the two buildings and this box of items here. So we got some platform canopies. I suppose you could use them as canopies for anything really. So 7mm Valance. So we've got 2 packs of them. Got a nice buffer stop here. And a Pico buffer stop, unbuilt. Couple of wheels and another bit of plastic card. So I presume this might have been off a third building that used to be part of this lot. And even a bit of pipe to add an extra chimney pot to, and a bit of a girder. So all in was 15 quid, which I thought was a bargain. And I thought even if I don't end up using it, the O-Gauge club I'm in might find them useful. So I thought they were worth having. Okay, so as well as on the club stall, I picked up 3 of these. Give it the right box. So we got MFA open box mineral wagon, EWS weathered. Got quite a few of these now, but I'm trying to just keep hold of the weathered versions now, and the immaculate versions I'll either sell on in the future or weather them up myself if I ever get the confidence to do it. But yeah, thought that was pretty good. They were a tenner each for 3 of those. And again, it's all off the club stall, so you don't mind giving them a bit of business. So that was 30 quid for 3 wagons, which is quite good for today's standard, I suppose. So they'll go nicely on the layout. Northwestern Models, I picked up a set of these tweezers. So again, he's got a nice selection of kits, accessories for your layouts, anything for like barrels, drums, you know, any little scenic items that you wouldn't necessarily think of, figures, and even 009 rolling stock kits, as well as tools. So anyway, I picked up that because I thought they would assist me with coupling up my O-Gauge rolling stock. So that's the reason for buying that. And I've also purchased some of the NG7 track, or 016.5 points. I just got a set of 2 for now because I'm currently working out what I can do in this scale. I'd ideally like to do a small narrow gauge with a little strip of O-Gauge track at some point, but we're also planning on doing something like that with the O-Gauge club. So whether I put all my stuff into that and we just concentrate on that, or I build a small one at home for myself, I'm not too sure yet, but there's definitely a project coming soon. Like I say, mentioned in previous videos, I really need to get my N-Gauge layout finished and decide what I'm going to do with that before I can start another project. and with the nicer weather we'll have the Garden Railway out soon as well, hopefully. And the most expensive thing from Preston Model Railway Exhibition, sorry if you can hear a plane outside, it's just come over, it's quite loud as well. So we got a Hawthorne Leslie Marsden Brewery DCC sound fitted, and this is a preserved example, I believe, from the Foxfield Railway. That's what I got told, and this was from Footplate Models, I think it was. So I've got, I've been interested in getting one of these for a while, but most of the sound fitted variants that I wanted have been sold now. But I saw this one, I quite like the livery, so let's just have a little glance at it now. And again, it's a preserved example, which is a win-win. But yeah, I thought that's very lovely detailed looking logo, that. So we'll see that in a video soon. So yeah, I did spend up a bit in Preston. Sunday, I was at the Rainhill show with the Liverpool and West Lancs O-Gauge group, with their layout, Ballon Road. Luckily I didn't spend nothing at Rainhill. There wasn't too much there for me, to be honest, but great selection of layouts, and really had good fun as well running the O-Gauge layouts. Anyway, so moving on now. I've been after some O-Gauge rolling stock for a while to go with my Class 26. So I've made the start, and the first thing I purchased, so this was off a well-known auction site. So this is British Rail Green and Yellow, the ZEV Catfish Ballast Hopper Wagon. So I remember seeing one of these at the Lakeside and Haverfreight Railway. I thought, yeah, I quite like the look of them, something different. It's something I haven't got in double O-Gauge either, which is what I was aiming for. So let's just have a little glance at that. I'll take out the box. I managed to rip the box pulling that out. A bit heavy-handed. So let's just see if we can get this out without doing any more damage. I always think of O-Gauge is quite big, but that wagon actually looks quite small. Anyway, I'm just quickly get this out so we can have a little look at it. I'm going to take these to the club tonight and hopefully give them a run. So what we'll do is we'll have a little running session at some point in this video. But yeah, it's very expensive, the Hellion O-Gauge wagon. Well, anything O-Gauge Hellion is really expensive, but you do notice the quality difference, to be honest. The quality is really, really good in the locos and the coaches I've seen so far, and definitely in these wagons. It's a very heavy wagon. The couplers are very nice quality too. As it's been necessary with the Ballon Road layout because of the sharp curves. You can unscrew these couplers to make the distance longer, so they can handle the sharper curves a lot easier. And they even have sprung buffers in, which is a bit of a luxury. But again, with sharp curves, it does help. It stops buffer lock. So yeah, that's very nice. That's probably the first van in this livery as well, wagon in this livery I've got. So we'll put that to one side, and we'll just pause the camera a minute while I tidy up, and we'll see what we've got in the next box. Okay, let's take a look at the next box. So this arrived while I was working away, and this is from Rails of Sheffield. So as you can probably just about tell, it's more O-Gauge rolling stock, more Hellion rolling stock. At least I hope it is anyway. It's well packaged anyway. Okay, sorry, just try not to knock the camera too much. So we've got 4 more O-Gauge wagons. Which again, I'll hopefully be taking to the club with me tonight. Right, so let's look at the first one. And it is a PCA cement tank grey. And it's era 8 and 9. So this will fit in with the Class 26 I've got, hopefully, and also a future layout that's getting built at the club, which is going to be a Wagon Works. So again, I've got not got any of this type of wagon on double O gauge, so it'll be something different for me. Right, I've just readjusted the camera so we can take a look at them a bit better. I think we get a little buckler here. So we've got quite a funny looking purple one. I think I've actually got one of these, an N-gauge. I'll have to have a look in a sec. We've got a list of all the parts. It shows how comprehensive, how much there is in these models compared to the smaller scales, and also why they are a lot more expensive. Let's just see if I can get this unusual packaging off. So it's a bit different. In fact, I know why, because it's been taped down. Just see if I can find a knife. Here we are. Right. So we've got 3 of these PCA wagons, and we'll have a look at the 4th in a sec. More tape, certainly well packaged. More, yeah. Right, let's hope we can get that off now. There we go. So wow, look at the detail on this. Just put that onto there. Well, it's certainly well detailed, and again quite heavy. Just look at the detail on them. I think that would actually make a good O-gauge track cleaner wagon if we could stick a pad on that. Just came to me. I always keep mentioning that you can't really get well, I've not seen any track cleaning wagons for O-gauge. So you got to do it the old-fashioned way. So see if we can get a look at the details here. All the prints. Really, really nice. So they've all got their individual numbers. That's why I've only got the 3 for now, because that's what was available. You can see the actual suspension on these coach wagons as well. It's really good. So hopefully they're less prone for derailing. That was something I didn't realise, or didn't know about, to be honest. But wow. We've also got sprung buffers. When I've seen these wagons again on a well-known auction site or in shops, they're being over £100 each, which is well out of my budget. But I managed to pick these up for £80 each, which is still very expensive for a wagon. But it was still a good £35–40 cheaper than I've seen them go for sale for. So I'm not going to box all 3 because apart from the numbers, they're all the same. But yeah, I'm really impressed with that so far. I'll have to put it on a piece of track in a minute. But like I say, by the time I bring this video out, we would have ran these, hopefully. So, for the first wagon we looked at was a catfish. Now we have a dogfish wagon. So it's a bit taller, and obviously spreads ballast in a different way, which again I didn't know till recently. That when I was asking, I've been pestering Dave from the O-gauge club about different wagons, and he's been giving me a lot of advice and educating me on what the different wagons do, which is something I should have learnt a long time ago, really. But hey ho. So we've got dogfish ballast hopper now, again in the same livery as before. It does say era 9, but I think I'll still get away with it from 1980s. So again, let's have a look at this one. I prefer this style of packaging, to be honest. So it does seem more secure and easier to get them in and out of. So here we go again. Again, this feels noticeably heavier than the last one. But let me just feel. Yeah, I think is the base plate metal? No. This box section here is metal. So obviously the ballast would come pouring out of here, I suppose, either side of the track. And I suppose the catfish wagon, if I can find it, the ballast would come out through the bottom. So I suppose they're a nice little combination to have, those two. But yeah, really impressed with the detail on these. Again, so it's a bit more of a slightly modern livery, mainline. So these haven't got the same, got a little bit of suspension on them. But not as much as the PCA wagons. Got the same good quality chain link couplings on them that you can, like I say, you can unscrew them and extend them as much as you want. And hopefully with the sprung buffers, that'll help with buffer lock on the sharper curves. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting these out on the layout later. A few little like hairs on them there. But yeah, so obviously what I want to do in the future is acquire a few more of these. I've got the brake van. I don't think it's the same livery, but it's a similar livery that might stick on the end of these. So we've got a 3-car freight train here, and potentially another 3-car set here. So yeah, let's just put them on a little strip of track and see what they look like. Right, we've got them all out on the track. I'll just put a little bit of pressure on them. You can see the suspension works on them. But yeah, really impressed with these wagons. I think they look really smart, and I say a bit of professional weathering on them. You know, I'm looking forward to getting these out on the tracks. So what else can I say? Highly detailed. I can see why they are expensive, but yeah, I'll have to wait till we get a few more of these on offer before we get any more. But I'm hoping to get a rake of about 5 or 6 of them. So it's a short train with the class 26, and just them to one side. Same with the dogfish wagons and the catfish wagons. I've been looking for pictures, to be honest, of the class 26 and the BR Blue livery to see what it pulled, and I saw a few photos of 26 pulling 3 of these. I don't know if they're the exact same livery or not, but they look similar from the picture. And I think I've got a picture of a couple of these. So I'm hoping to get a few more pictures, hopefully, so I can recreate a freight train or smallish freight trains for the class 26. And if I get some like a class 27 in the future or something like that, they'll hopefully work well together, or even a 25. But yeah, so what we're going to do now is we're going to jump to the running session now and see how they get on, and I'll be back in a sec.
So basically, what will be 16 millimetres will be outside.
Okay, I'm back in the office. I'm really happy with the wagons I got, and I hope you enjoyed the little running session I done at the Liverpool and West Lancs O-Gauge Club. The wagons performed pretty faultlessly. One little derailment, but that turned out the couplers were just a bit too tight. So the good thing about those Helgen wagons is you can extend the coupling. You can basically just unscrew them or untighten them, and they extend a bit. So after that, they work perfectly, and yeah, really happy with them. So I've got the beginnings of 2 freight trains there, and also what's just turned up in the post this morning. Something I hoped to put in the whole video earlier, but I thought I can include it now as a finish off this video. And it's basically a British Rail Blue Mark 1 CCT, and it's era 6, 7 and 8, so that goes with what I've got. And I've got it in the catalogue here, the Helgen 2023. Now, so like I said, I've got 2 freight trains. What I also wouldn't mind doing is a little parcel train, and with the British Rail Blue. So this came up, it was still very expensive. It was just over 90 quid, I think, including the postage. But when you see these new, I think the cheapest price is around £220, and I'm certainly not paying that for it. But all I'm doing is, when I see them going at a decent offer, you know, I'll try and snap them up, and over time build up a full train. So I'd only need another. I'm hoping to get an 8-wheel parcel coach, or like a general utility van. So we got them in the catalogue here, so I'll get one of those in the British Rail Blue, or maybe just like a full brake. But that's basically the one I've got there. So we will keep an eye out for them in the future. But like I said, I won't pay more than what I pay for this. I'll certainly wait till they're on offer or second hand, like this one. This one was off eBay. Again, the good thing about these is they got the decent couplings on them, and they extend like that. You got sprung buffers just like the wagons, and you can even see the brake on. I presume that's the brake lever for it. And like I say, it's just amazing all the detail on these things. And you see all the brass handles, and you got the separately fitted handrails, and like all the prints, really good quality. I know Helgen have got a lot of stick in double O gauge quality control issues off a few YouTubers and so on, and I've sort of, some things I've agreed on, but most of my Helgen locos are class 33, so I've not had a problem with them. They've been good quality. I've got no rolling stock in double O gauge from Helgen, so I can't judge them on that. But what I can say is their O gauge stuff is top quality, and it is expensive, I know, but it is quality. And like you say, it's still worth waiting for them to go second hand before you buy them, if you can. But yeah, I thought that's a nice little addition. We'll have to wait till a future video to see that one running. I might put a little clip or a little reel on Facebook or Instagram, or maybe even put a short video on YouTube of this running next time I'm at the club. But yeah, I thought it's still worth showing. We've also got the pannier tank in the background here, back in its box. We'll end the video with a few clips of that running around Ballon Road as well. I did take that to the club also to give it a run out, as it hasn't had a run for a while. And while we're here, I just thought I'd show a few other little projects I've been working on. So we got this nice little low gauge coaling stage. I just basically bought it because it was reasonably cheap, and I wanted to, something I can do in the office in the evening in between doing paperwork or whatever. I can just mess around with a few little kits. We know this kit from the last haul video, the Pico laser kit. I thought I wanted to give one of these a try. If I get round to building a little NG7 layout, a little micro, it'll be sort of like the Lakeside or Real Miniature Railway type theme, or West Lancashire Light Railway. So I just want a couple of little coaches. As you can see, before I bought it, that's all you used to see on the website, but you do get the option to have a canopy on it, which is what I've put on. So I'll probably get another 2 of these, 2 with a canopy and 1 without. And you say you get all the parts that are on there now. You get the couplers as well, and you get the I've gone blank now with the socket, so you can alter the couplings. You can have different couplings on it. And yeah, the only thing you have got to do is you got to make your own canopy for the roof, which isn't a big deal. It gives you the dimensions, or you can just measure it, but I've just cut a little thin piece of plastic card to go on the roof like that. So I just have to glue it and clamp it to shape, and that'll look pretty good. So yeah, if anyone wants to see more of this sort of stuff, let me know. I mean, I don't get much time for filming doing these kits, because like I say, I do them in the evenings and the lighting in here isn't great. But if people want to see these sort of modelling videos, I'll see if I can do a few. But yeah, I think that'll look good when it's painted up. That's the next stage. And like I mentioned earlier, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I do regular updates on there and bits and bobs I work on. Also, the Modeloo figures I got for Christmas. These two are for the Black 5. I just need to pick out a bit more detail in the face, like the eyes and stuff, and add a bit more weathering to the skin, and obviously paint the shovel. But I like how they're turning out. I say they're really good quality, and because they're bigger figures as well, they're easier to paint. Got this one for the auto coach, so hopefully at some point I'll just do one big running session with all my O-gauge rolling stock and just put all the clips together so people can see. These two out of the box now. These were for the Quarry Hunslet, so they came ready painted. These are the Bachmann ones. Look slightly scary looking, don't they? But they do alright. They've been nicely weathered, looked the part. So yeah, like I've mentioned many times before, as soon as I've cleared all this out the way now, I'm going to get the N-gauge layout back out, hopefully get that finished, and then we can start thinking about an O-gauge project or an NG7 project. I'd really like to do a small diorama, a bit like me double O-gauge micro museum layout, someone that can just get out a Christmas tree box that can fit under the desk, put on the desk here. I can test logos on it and take pictures of it, so I've got like a nice scenic background. So that's something. And then a small micro oval layout for my NG7 stuff that I'll be building up. I'll certainly be getting a few more of these Pico kits. I think they're really good quality for the price. But yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. As always, comment what you think of what I bought, and let me know what you think as always. And keep an eye out for the next video. I don't know what it'll be yet. Yeah, who knows, but keep an eye out for it either way. And if you have any of your own ideas for me, I'm always happy to listen. Always happy to hear other people's thoughts. Yeah, so we'll leave it at that. Like I say, I'll throw a few clips on now with the pannier tank running, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.